The topic I'll be talking about today is of a dear value to my heart. I will be discussing the history of Egypt throughout different eras in time. Egypt was the oldest recorded history in the world. It surpassed 7,000 years, and it passed every other country. It passed it passed every other country. Egypt was a country of peace. It never invaded any other country, but actually it was invaded by every other country: the Nubians, the Hyksos, and the Assyrians. Actually, a Greek historian once said that Egypt is the country of no change. It stayed the same, social fabric stayed the same throughout history. One of the things that were a reason for Egypt's stability was its religion. Its religion was made of many gods and many deities, and it basically was compromised around sacrifice and pharaohs presenting themselves as gods. Another element of the ancient Egyptians' religion was the afterlife. They all believed in afterlife, so they even took jewelry and food and drinks and clothes down with them to the grave. And even pharaohs and nobles insisted on mummifications. Of Egyptian gods, there are many gods that relate usually to nature. The most important one was the god of the sun, Ra. And another one was the god that was responsible for the flood of the Nile, which was named Happy. Egyptians used to sacrifice a woman every year for that god. Egypt was divided, just like now, into different social classes. And these social classes caused many problems because you could never move from one to another. And the pharaoh assigned them all as his clergy and his men and closed them. These classes caused a lot of wars and riots throughout Egypt's history. You can't mention Egypt and not talk about that they were the first to write. They invented one of the first pens, and they used papyrus as the first writing equipment for them. And they carved their history around different temples and walls. That's why now it's the most nation that has enough information written about it throughout history. A British archaeologist discovered the Rashid stone one day, and that stone contained a hieroglyphic text translated into Greek and Roman. So by that discovery, we were able to uncode every letter of the Egyptian language, and that's why we were able to read them until now. When you look at the pyramid, you might just think they are some stones laid above each other, but basically they are the biggest tombs for the greatest three kings back then. And the scientific discoveries found inside are of great deal. The alignment with the light, the secret passages, the cottages were all of great deal. Many think that slaves actually built the pyramids, but actually this is not true, because if it were slaves who built the pyramid, it would have been not built to that high standard. Yeah, I certainly believe that experts were chosen and elected to be and participate in the building of the pyramid. Another Egyptian artifact that we must all consider is the obelisks. Obelisks resemble the rise from dark to enlightenment, and they basically resemble the sun too. They are not only available in Egypt, but they are available around the world. And even the Washington Monument is an obelisk from Egypt too. Egypt contains the largest collection of artifacts in the world. 1/4 of the world's collections of artifacts is Egyptian artifacts, but momentarily they are not all located in Egypt. Some of them were stolen, and some were given as gifts by presidents and kings throughout Egypt's history. Many believe the reason for Egyptian stability is that they had the strongest army back then. They defeated the Mongols, and they left the Egyptian social fabric intact for many years. Even today, Egypt has the strongest air force in Africa and in Asia, and a really great amount of tanks. Egypt presented its ascendancy over other armies by winning the October War just soon ago. Not only by war, but also by peace, Egypt intervenes and wins and shows its ascendancy over other countries. In Yemen and in Iraq and in Sudan, Egypt always interfered by war to gain peace. Just like in the case between Fatah and Hamas, when Egypt got them all on a round table and directed their visions and views. Other than military force, Egypt has soft power. which is part of its drama and cinema and labor forces in different Arab countries. Not one Arab doesn't know how to talk Egyptian or haven't watched an Egyptian movie. Actually, the Saudi flag was designed by an Egyptian. Not only in the case of art, but also in the case of science and international positions. Egypt has the highest Arab Nobel Prize winners and it has the highest college board leaders. Many boards of international agencies are actually ruled and presidented by Egyptians. Agriculture is the main source of economy in Egypt. Other with natural gas and cotton and fishing. Egypt was the first to invent farming. That's why they settled beside the Nile valleys. And they improved farming throughout their history. Egypt is the most written topic in many books and throughout many ages. It's mentioned in the Bible, it's mentioned in the Quran. It has a whole science named Egyptology about it. I would like you all to read more about Egypt and visit it someday, because 7,000 years of myths and puzzles are not easy to go around. Thank you.